everybody, welcome to the Pear Deck session. Today you are going to experience Pear Deck as a student. You are going to go through using interactive slides. At the beginning, we're going to start off. You're going to be seeing what I'm going to do as a teacher, and then we will flip you over to being a student. Today we're on joinpd.com in a second tab. So you will be flipping back and forth from tab to tab. Okay, so what you're looking at now is just my Google slideshow. I am now going to turn, or I'm going to present my Google slideshow in terms of Pear Deck. So you're just going to see what a teacher would do for now. I am going to go to add-ons up here. So everybody should be just on the Google Meet right now so you can see what I'm doing. Add-ons. You will see I have Pear Deck for Google Slides. So you guys aren't doing this yet. I'm still acting as a teacher. You're going to act as a student. And I'm going to say, open the Pear Deck add-on. And we're going to see that jump to the right-hand side in a second. So this is what a teacher would do with her slideshow once it's made to start the lesson for the students. So I'm now going to leave my Google slideshow and I'm going to start my lesson as if I'm a teacher. I'm pressing Start Lesson. You will notice that I have two options here. I can do a student-paced activity or an instructor-paced activity. The instructor-paced activity means I'm going to control your slides and what you see. You just can be hands-off. You're just going to watch the slides and I'm going to change them for you. So I'm choosing instructor-paced activity. It's launching my slides. And again, this is what the teacher would be seeing. And here we go. So here is the code that you are going to put in on that second tab, AGXSBN, Acid Grapes Zerically, Switch Broken Ninjas, AGXSBN. And I see you starting to come in. I think that might be about the limit that we have, 29. Okay, no, I'll just wait another few moments. So anytime you want to see what I'm looking at as a teacher, you can click on the Google Meet tab and see my presentation. And anytime you want to see, well, when you're being a student, you're just going to flip to the other one. Okay, I think we've stalled at about 29 students connected. So I'm going to continue. So just so you see, I'm not sure if this is going to show up for you, but as a teacher, I'm not going to go directly to start class. I'm going to open a teacher dashboard. So there are two views for a teacher. There's the view that you would project up on the board for the students on the projector, and then there's the teacher dashboard where you can see what the students are doing. So I'm going to open the teacher dashboard. You can't see that, so I'm just going to move it over to my other screen. And hopefully we're going to be able to see that later when we become teachers suddenly. Okay, so we are now looking at a Pear Deck. Going to jump down to the slides where we are, and we're on this one. So everyone, I am asking you a question here. What is your experience with Pear Deck? So Brittany's just asking if there is a choice. I can choose to let you work on it on its own, or I can control the slides. There are two options. So once again, everyone's acting as a student now. You're seeing my presentation as if I'm the teacher, and we're starting off with an example of a multiple choice slide that is provided a template. So the idea behind Pear Deck is to actively engage the students in the content. So you're just seeing how easy it is for me to ask a question to find out what everybody knows already. And it's that easy to prompt and work with it. I'm now going to just show you what I'm seeing, or I'm going to show you the responses. And I can project this. So these are what I'm seeing with it from everybody, which is great. One person already using it. And you're going to notice that I have all of these answers, but what I am projecting to you, the student names aren't there. So no one's names are there. All right, so I'm going to take the responses off and continue on. This is a second example. This is an example of a draggable slide. So you're just going to take that blue dot, and you're going to pull it along, drag it over to either agree or disagree. So I can see everybody pulling it over. I will show you again the responses as I'm going. So again, you're pulling that over. When I'm saying I'm showing you the responses, I know it's difficult, but we are kind of having to flip back and forth from tab to tab. If you want to see what the teacher's seeing, you flip over to the Google Meet tab. And so you can see, I can see them as people are moving them. Everybody's agreeing, that's great. Super important to get students engaged with the content. Okay. Next, I'll hide the responses here. Also, I was just going to say, at any point, and again, just talking as a teacher, at any point I can lock the screen and stop you from answering. So it would just be, okay, time's up, you've answered the questions, and I lock the screen. This is another example of a multiple choice question. What do you think is the biggest barrier to engagement in your classroom? Fear of being wrong in front of their classmates, that absolutely is huge. I seem to be getting a lot of hits on that one. We got lots of answers coming in. And after you all answer, you can click over to the tab and I'll show you the responses that I'm getting. So again, we're just going through a few of these slides so that you get to experience what it's like to be on the student end of a Pear deck. Okay, so I'm going to, if you want to flip back to the Google Meet, I'm going to show you the responses. And we have a lot of people that agree with the fear of being wrong in front of their classmates. Shyness, absolutely. Language, home stress, yeah, and there's always other reasons also. But that fear of being wrong is huge. People don't want to answer or speak out. Darlene, where do I lock the screen? Sadly, right now, you can't see the one part that I'm in the teacher dashboard. Let me see if I can slide up a little bit. No. So when we become the teacher and I show you the teacher, you'll be able to see it. Sean's asking, can a question like that have more than one answer? So this specifically is a multiple choice question. I'll show you an example, Sean, of just, you can write text. The students can write text if they want. I'm not sure, you're just probably asking, can you click two parts? I'm not 100% sure about that. See if you can try to do it. Okay, I'm going to hide those responses and back to your Pear deck as a student. So this is an example of a draw slide. You can circle. So this would be a good option, Sean, for this one, the draw slide. So you can draw as the circles around every single one of those if you want. Might be a better option. when you use these Pear Deck tools, you get every single student engaged, and yeah, they're actively showing what they're learning, and you get this real-time assessment. So right now I'm looking at all the kinds of activities that you do in class, and people are circling, and I'm seeing all of the options come up, and you can choose more than one question there. I know sometimes it's hard to draw with the mouse or your finger on a laptop, but you guys are doing a great job. So again, if you're done with drawing that and you want to flip over, oh, actually, I'm just going to lock the screen so you guys can see what it looks like. So if I say lock screen, I think you guys should be getting a note saying that the teacher stopped it. Okay, I'm going to move on here. Another couple of examples, one more example before we move on. Or no, this actually isn't. This is just pointing out that Pear Deck allows teachers to make any presentation interactive, so every single student can participate. So whether that's the students in class with the Chromebooks in front of them, or if the students are home with their Chromebooks, you could asynchronously, you could just send the deck out for the students to answer on their own time, or you can do as I'm doing. You can do it at a specific time with all the students, and you move the slides along. It's great when students are quieter, or they take longer to process or to get their ideas together. This is a real benefit to them. So now this is just a slide because I'm not really getting to show you what the teacher dashboard looks like, but this is an example of what the teacher dashboard would look like. So you can see that the 7 students are on the side. I have my slide deck on the right, and I have different options of what to do. So if everybody's back to everybody's still acting as a student right now, you can see that I can see all the students, but up the top, just above the word that says what, where what path is, there are different things there that there's an overlay. So you can see the sheets on top of each other. So you could show all the answers overlaid on top of each other, or you can separate them with the students' names like I have shown on this slide. All right, so I'm just going to now just show you the templates that Pear Deck offers. So I'm not asking you to answer the questions anymore. I'm just showing you some more of the options. So Pear Deck has great templates. The first set of templates that they have, and again, Pear Deck can be added to a Google slideshow that you already have, or you can start from the beginning. The first group of templates when designing your lesson is about at the beginning of class. So it's about big open-ended questions. What can you ask them? What are they thinking about? How can you get them started on pulling in prior knowledge? So again, you don't have to complete the following. I just want to show you the templates. So here's some example of the beginning lessons. So again, it's asking you the questions. You can put some things in there if you want, but you don't have to. So the first one is an example of, it's just 2 parts, list at least 2 things on the topic of Black Lives Matter. You can actually write it in with a text box if you want. So things they know, things they want to know. The next one, again, is an example of a map, starting to ask the students, what do they think about advanced civilizations? What were they able to grow in that fertile crescent? So once again, there's no exact right answer here. So the students are looking at it, they're looking at the map, they're tapping into the prior knowledge, they're making some educated guesses as to what they think can happen there, and they just get to type their answer in beside it. Then you can follow up with another prompt asking them, what do you know? What do you need to know to answer this question more fully? And again, the conversation is started as an opener. So there are more other templates for the beginning. So I'm showing you a few. Now is a couple of templates that are about the what you would use during the main part of your lesson. They're used to get the students engaged in the material. They're estimating, they're thinking, they're discussing, they're applying their knowledge. And each time you prompt the students, you're getting to do that little formative assessment, gather instant insight into how well they're getting the information that you're presenting to them. Here's a nice example of a nope, sorry, this is the moon. Estimate how many miles it is to the moon. So what I'm seeing is, again, you don't have to put the answers in if you don't want. We don't want to take too long, but you're just typing in a number. Any kind of estimate as to what, and I can see what the 32 students in the class are estimating. So again, this is great. Students may be shy about making a silly guess, looking wrong, going, oh my gosh, come on. And so they often don't want to participate. But again, every student is only seeing what they're seeing on their own screen. Everything is anonymous to them. No one feels singled out. But the teacher gets the benefit of knowing where the students are with this. This is a nice example of labeling, a diagram. Here's, and by the way, all of these templates, I'm not sure if you can see them, but I can click on the B and change that to any diagram. I just have to drag something else in. Juanita's saying, are individual student answers saved for the teacher to review? Yes. At the end, you'll be able to see them. You'll save this kind of on your Pear Deck account that's attached to your Google. So any of these can be, I like that everybody's kind of drawing things in. That's great. So it's really easy to change the templates and put in your own diagrams. Okay, so here's a nice example for the math teachers out there drawing a graph. They can draw anywhere on that slide. You have all of the math tools that you have. You could put dots. I can, in that graphing template, change the axes to match the content. And when I display the answers, I can show them as overlaid. I just have one drawing on there. Maybe a couple of you at this point could just draw a couple of lines here. Yeah, you can draw by hand. You can draw straight lines just using all of the tabs that you have at the bottom. So I'm just going to do the show responses for this one. So just so you guys can see, if you wanted to jump back to the Meet presentation, you can see it. All right. Get some more people putting them in. So I actually have to ask, when I am showing the responses, is it coming up on your Pear Deck tab, or do you have to flip over to the Meet? I guess I should have asked that question before. You have to flip over. Okay, go over to the Meet. Okay, so that's normally when, if the students were in the classroom, you would be presenting the responses up on the projector. Okay, so I'm just going to hide those responses again and move on. I love this template. You can throw this one in anywhere in the in your slide deck, and it's a quick check-in. So we're just saying, hey, students, drag the dot. Where are you? Are you stop? You still need help? Are you a little confused? Like, this is great. Keep going. And it gives that teacher that idea of what's going on in the class. I have a lot of people saying, keep going. I got a little confused going on here for those people that are answering it. And again, you're still acting as a student. You're not quite seeing, you're not seeing that teacher view. Tanya's asking, are these pre-made slides? Yes, these are all the templates that I'm showing you, Tanya, and you can change them in any way that you want. Or you can just use your own slides, and we'll see that. Okay, on to the next one. I like this one too, another draw. Circle the nouns in yellow. Circle the verbs in red. So that's a great example. I love that some people are still putting them on. Juanita, where do we click to get the templates? That's going to be after I just show you these templates. After I show you the templates, I'm going to turn you back into a teacher and I'm going to show you how to start to create the Pear deck. All right, great job. I am going to click to the next slide. Here's an example of another draw template. Again, you can change all of those words in there. You're just drawing the lines to match the answer. So another draw template example. Here is a great map. Drag the icon. You have a choice from all of these different kind of icons. Drag the flag to Germany, boat to Italy. Again, I'm still going. I'm not really waiting for all of you to answer. I like this one too. Mind map. You could write any central idea that you want in there and have the students start to create any other ideas. Next one, you can send students to a website. So here's an example of, I simply just embedded the Pear Deck website into this, and that it automatically on the side, the students go directly to the website that you intend for them to go to. So that's kind of the midsection. That was the middle section of the slides. And now just some reflect and assess templates that they have. So I'll show you a couple of these. At the end of the lesson, you may want your students to reflect on what you've done. You want to see, what they were thinking. It's kind of like a great exit ticket. So show you an example. Here's a template in 1 minute. Write the most important thing from today's lesson. It's a good one. We saw this template already. I'm just using it again in terms of an exit ticket. Draw or type 2 things that you learned today. Again, all ideas. And I'm clicking before you're really getting to respond. I want to have time to be able to show you how to start the deck. Circle how you feel today about today's lesson or any kind of question. It's a good one too. Okay, and the next one. So really some looking at some like critical thinking, really getting the students to think. I like a few of these tablets, so I threw these in here also. Here's an example of one, considering different viewpoints. So you could be discussing anything and you're just asking the students to write on the person's head what their viewpoint is. Here's one viewpoint. Here's what someone else could be thinking. Darlene's asking, does the program save all the students' answers? Yeah, we're going to see that at the end, that you're going to be able to save all the responses. So we'll see that soon, Darlene. Here's an example of, well, anything. This is just how we might insert your question there. You're just asking the students to write a response. You could put anything there at all. I think this is the last one I'm showing you, is draw conclusions. So what conclusions can you draw from today's information or the information I presented or what you found on a website or anything that you want to write? Again, it's just a template. You can change the templates any way you want. So it's all about the critical thinking. All right, so now I'm going to jump to the next slide. The next slide I'm going to show you, it's going to say 60-day trial on it. So there is a free account and there is a premium account. So I may as well explain this to you now. The Pear Deck can be added to any, but there's going to be a couple of things that you can't do. So one of the things is the premium account. You can only drag the dot with the premium account. So you're not going to be able to create an account right now unless you have a premium account. But there is a 60-day free trial, and we'll come I have it linked also at the end. So I don't really want you to click the free trial right now. When you open your Pear deck, when we start, you'll be able to get it then. So I'm just going to click back, but this will be here when I share this deck with you. So I'm going to say, let's try it out. So this is where we're going to soon leave you being a student. So I'm going to show you what it looks like right now before we start this. So it's the fastest way to get started with Google. The slide deck is to just open a brand new slide deck. And as I did and I showed you before, you're going to click add-ons, you're going to go to Pear deck, you're going to add in your formative assessment on the slides, and you're going to make sure you present with Pear deck. So when we start this and when you open it, it's a little different than the last screen. You are all going to open in another tab. You're going to open a slide deck out of your Drive or just your waffle. You can just open a slideshow. You're going to go to add-ons and you're going to choose Pear deck and open Pear deck. And of course, it's going to ask you from things. You're going to see this on the side. That will pop up when you add it on. And there are two options there. The top is the present. That is when you're finished. That's what I just did. I had a slide deck that was finished and I presented it. But you can see, and for now, we're going to use the slide library, the beginning of lesson, during lessons, end of lessons. That's all the templates that you're going to be able to see. And below, you can just start. You can just start from any empty slide. Does it come in French? Well, you can just type in French, Tanya, I would say. And Heather, I think the premium account is $140. However, we have just had word from the Department of Education that schools are now allowed to use up to 40% of their book bureau money, and they can use that to buy subscriptions. So at this point, the best I can do is say that you would have to ask your principal if they would buy the subscription for you, and they can buy it with their book bureau money. All right, so again, just finish this off. You're going to use the slide library to transform the lessons. This would be the custom questions. So if you didn't want to use the templates, just down below when we're starting this, you're going to just see you can create a text slide or a multiple choice slide or a number slide. Right now, you're not going to have the draw and draggable until you get that premium account. But again, there is going to be a 60-day free trial. So it would be best probably if you start the trial, you know you like it, then go to your principal and say, hey, I want this. Buy this for me, please. Presentation controls. This is what the bottom looks like per teacher, sadly, Ainsley, around $140 per teacher. I know, expensive, but it is a big thing. These are the presentation controls. So this is how I was presenting the deck to you. Slide navigation. I could see notes that I wanted to make sure I remember to say. I could see how many of my students responded. I could just toggle back and forth and show the responses. I could lock the screen. I could add a new question right in the deck, which I probably wouldn't want to do. And that end session, the end session is really important because all of you guys were, not all of you guys, but a few of you were asking about the, is it going to be saved? Yes, when you end your session, you call it whatever the session, the date or whatever, and that's where all your students' responses would be received. Juanita, I'm saying you said announcements. Can you repeat, please? I can't remember what announcements I was saying. Hopefully I said it again for you. Not sure. So this is just, again, there's a teacher dashboard so you can see what's going on. They recommend even having an extra, okay, good, I'm glad you got it, Juanita. Using an extra tablet. So if you had access to an iPad, you could have that teacher dashboard on, you could have your, your projector and your computer working, and you could have your teacher dashboard on a separate device if you wanted to walk around the room. And you could change the slides as you're walking around the room and kind of watching what the students are doing at the same time. Or sometimes it's great if you just have your projector as a different projection. So you have those video cards, that your projector is different than what you're seeing on your desktop. This is just an example of what once you have the account, what it looks like. This is where you would find all of your sessions. It lets you add this directly to Google Classroom, a Pear Deck, so that students could use it on their own. I like that. I think everybody at the end, did it ask you what your mood was at the beginning? You didn't have to do it, but when you first sign in, it asks you your mood. So just those kind of things. To get to and I have this on the last slide also, but to get on a separate tablet or a separate device and you want to get to this, you would go peardeck.com/administrators. That's how you would get to open up your Pear Deck if you just wanted to look at old Pear Decks that students have done. All right, here's just another example of what I would see when I open up my teacher desktop. As students are writing in, I can see all the answers and I can see what they're saying. I also can, if there is any inappropriate answers, so if I didn't think on this slide that Landon's answer was appropriate, I can click on those 3 dots on the right-hand side and turn it off so that when I put it up on the projector, it doesn't show, say, Landon's answer. Darlene says, so does Pear Deck save the presentations used in the program, or do you always have to add your PowerPoints? It will always be, your slide decks are always in your drive, and anytime you want to, it will save it as a Pear Deck, and anytime you want to present it, you just go to that add-on Pear Deck, and it gives you the Pear Deck option down the right-hand side. So your slides will just look like slides, and you can tell they're Pear Deck slides. You can present them just like I did in the beginning as if they weren't Pear Deck slides. I was just presenting originally a slideshow to you when we started, and then I put the add-on on, and then I got you to open up Join PD, and then we used that same slideshow that I was working in as a Pear Deck slideshow instead. Just another example. I'm going to quickly go through these. You can see some more answers. Again, students drawing on a map. You can see all the answers at once. Here's the ending the session. So when you press that end, you enter the name for the session, you save and end, and you will find that later. So that's where you can see all those answers that the students did later. And it looks like this when you log into your Pear Deck. It would say all of your sessions would be listed there, and you can go back and look at them and all the students' answers. All right, finally, let's try one of your own. So I am going to show you my last 2 slides, and then I'm going to leave Pear Deck, and I'm going to get you, we'll all just go back to the Google Meet. I'm going to stop presenting as a Pear Deck teacher, and I'm just going to go back and present as a Meet teacher. Before that, I'll show you these 2 slides, and I can share this slide deck with you afterwards so you can remember all of this stuff. Again, to remind you before we go, this is how you are going to add it on. We're going to open a new tab. You are going to open a new slideshow, and you're going to go add-ons, Pear Deck, open a Pear Deck. And one more slide before we go. Important Pear Deck resources. So this will be the last slide or second last slide in my slide deck that I will share with you later with all the links. Okay, so I am going to end the session right now. So I'm going to press end. I'm going to save this as you guys can't see this. It probably says your teacher ended the session. Session AM, Pear Deck. And I'm going to save and end. And I'm going to go back to our Meet. So back to normal, and I am still sharing. So I'm going to just go back to my regular old slideshow. Well, actually, I don't need to be back to my slideshow. This is what I'm going to get all you to do. I'm going to get you to open a tab. I'm going to get you to open your waffle. And I'm going to get you to open a new slide deck, slides. And so now that you can just go blank, you can press plus. And I'm really just going to give you a few minutes to see what's going on. So I'll show you a couple of things before you guys really get into it. So I'm on my slideshow. We're in the meet right now. You can name it or title it whatever you want. I don't like when it defaults to this click to add. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, whenever I want to add a slide deck, if I'm not using the templates right now, I would like to, I click the little down arrow instead of the plus sign, and I always choose blank. So I just wanted to say that. I like that better. Maybe some of you don't mind. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to add-ons. I'm going to close this themes. I don't need a theme. I'm going to go to add-ons. I'm going to go to Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on. I'm going to open it, and you're going to see, and everyone should be able to do this themselves. You see the Pear Deck on the side, and it will pop up. So once again, before you get over there and start doing it yourself, the start lesson you would only do when you're ready to present this slide deck to your students. Otherwise, you can open up that template library, and there are, you need to do the little arrow, and there are all those lesson builders, beginning of lesson, during lesson. There's even some, I'm scrolling down, the critical thinking one, there's some social emotional one, subject area ones. So there's math, there's science, there's all of these pre-made templates, which is great. So you can look at those. I'm just going to choose, go down, I went to math, and I can see all the pre-made ones that are there, and I can click on one, and it will put it in my slideshow for me. It just says working, and over it goes, and then you have full control to change the problem. You can write the different numbers on. As I'm clicking, I can change the 1, 2, 3, or 4. I can change the numbers on the axis. I can, anything at all. Look at this, use Desmos for any higher level, middle school or high school math teachers out there. It's actually, this is one that's going to send the students directly to the Desmos website, and they can work on the graph there. Let's go back. I'll show you some of, show you some of the, and as you see, as I'm clicking these, here's during the lesson, any kind of, there's one of my, how are you feeling dot. Every time it's adding on the new slide into your deck. So that's when you're using all of the templates. And again, you just click and you can change any of the wording you want. I want to caution you on one thing. I want to caution you on, if you've decided that you're using the templates and then you thought, I want to just make my own clean slide. If you're on this slide, so I'm on a slide right now that's a template and pre-made. When you're going to just make one of your own clean slides, ask students a question. This starts one of your own slides. Make sure you've created the new slide first. Don't be on a slide that's already made before you press one of these buttons. So I want to make sure I add a blank before I press ask, say, a multiple choice question. So create the blank slide before you do one of your own. So this is just saying a preview, shows you how it works, and you write in your options there. Whatever your answers are, you can do as many multiple choice questions as you want. And you update the slide. So I'm just going to say I'll just do this. 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to update the slide, and it adds in a slide for you. But of course, you would have had to put the question in. Notice that the slide is absolutely blank. I haven't written a question yet because there's no template here. So if I want to ask a question now, I can drag in any picture I want. I can go up to my text box and I can say, what is your fave number? But you have full control over that. You are just, if you open a blank slide, you're fully in control of just using Google Slides the way you normally use Google Slides. But it added the Pear Deck thing along the bottom, the footer along the bottom. You need that footer down there for the slide to be interactive. All right. So again, you can see that there's add audio to the slide. Again, that would be great if we were at home, but it is only a premium account. So Juanita's saying, so students have to do the add-on. No, nope, students don't. The students, just like you were a student at the beginning of my class, when you go start a lesson, so I'm going to show you the example of start my lesson again right now, if everybody's in the meet. If I'm done and I go start a lesson, as you would also, I get to decide whether I want are at home and you want them to do it. Great. If it's instructor pace, you get to choose that here. I do that, and all of a sudden it gives that code for you. So all the students have to do is open a tab and go to joinpd.com. However, when they go joinpd.com, they sign in with their Google account. So they go sign in with Google, just like you did in the beginning. So, but they do not need a separate Pear Deck account. They are just joining the pd.com. Okay, so I'm going to X out of this and I'm going to end that session. So this is what it would look like as a teacher. After I've done the presentation, I press end. And I would put in, or you don't even have to save it if you don't want to. I'm just going to press cancel. So really, that is the idea. I want to show you one more thing. I want to show you that I could go to any presentation in my Google Drive. So I'm just going to say, if you already have a pre-made slide deck and you go to this, and you actually just open your drive. And let's see if I have some presentations in here. I've got a lot of things going on. Loading, sorry, just a moment. Nothing wants to happen fast here. So I have lots of slide presentations that I've not used and not used Pear Deck for, but I simply can just open it up. So here's my old one of how to use a Mimeo. If I was doing a presentation, there's my old slide deck, has never had anything to do with Pear Deck before, and I simply could go add-on, go to my Pear Deck add-on, add Pear Deck to an old slideshow. And what I can do is, this time, I could take anything that I wanted, any slide at all, and I can simply, I'm on this slide, I can go over and say, ask students a question, and I could make this slide that I already have made a ABC slide or a text slide, and it turns that slide that's already made, update slide, and it will turn that pre-made slide into a Pear Deck slide, and you'll see it just added the footer at the bottom of it. So I'm really happy. It's 25 after 10. I was hoping I was going to get all that in an hour. So at this point, I was just going to say, does anybody have any questions? So can I make a request for Mimeo PD? Christina, absolutely. that will probably be one of the sessions that I'll do again like this. I have been going out to schools and doing that, and I would love to be in schools because really Mimeo is certainly hands-on as a teacher. And as soon as I'm allowed back into schools, I will absolutely do Mimeo sessions again. I had some of them last year. Does anybody have any other questions? So great, Green, you too. Can you add any of the templates in a Pear deck? Yes, to pre-made Google Slides. Okay, so I'm going to do, I have lots of Mimeo requests. So Darlene's just asking, can I add any of the templates in Pear deck to pre-made Google Slides? So watch what I'm going to do here. So if I wanted to add a template in here, I'm in my Mimeo slideshow. That was how I added Pear deck to a pre-existing slide. I would just in the middle of my slide deck press new. So I'm going to go down and go blank, little arrow, add a blank slide. And once you, actually, I don't even know if you need the blank slide. I think I might have just lied to you. Let me just try that again. I'm going to delete that blank slide. So here I am in my slideshow. I'm going to go up to my template library. I'm going to pick a template and say, summarize what you've just learned, that template, and it just added it into my deck. Todd's asking maybe share the Mimeo slideshow for now until you can get to schools. So the other thing that I want to show everybody is, and you can find this on the CBVRC website. So on CBVRCE, and also on the bottom of the email that I sent you, there is a link to my website. But if you can't find it, if you go to our regional website, go under employees, go under teachers, you will see IEI Tech integration. That will take you to my website. And this is also where I'm going to put this recording later on after I cleaned it up a little bit. Underneath resources, I have a how-to. It says how-to for Google and other PD. So all of my information, I have lots of videos on how to use the Google Classroom. This is how to set up a Google Classroom. I did this one in the summer. How to make a quiz in Google Classroom, end of year. So I have lots of things here, and I'm just saying, I think the Mimeo one is here. Google Meet, Intro to Jamboard. That's a great one. You guys should check that one out. And create a Google Classroom. Okay, so I'm logging into Moodle. Maybe I don't. Oh, no, maybe I don't have the Mimeo one here. So I will absolutely put that Mimeo slideshow on this page. But lots of great videos and references here.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Pear Deck session. Today, you are going to experience Pear Deck as a student. You are going to go through using interactive slides. At the beginning, we're going to start off. You're going to be seeing what I'm going to do as a teacher, and then we will flip you over to being a student.